and welcome to the Intel Brief, your daily intelligence briefing on global geopolitics. Today is Wednesday, 16 October. I'm your host Daniel, the founder of HM Intelligence, and every weekday we bring you not just the news, but the so what from the events and decisions that shape our world. So grab a coffee and get ready to be informed. In today's update, we'll be covering Italy is diverting refugees to Albania. India is encouraged to help Canada in its investigation into possible assassinations. And the EU seeks to accelerate the return of migrants. So firstly, Italy has initiated a controversial agreement with Albania to process certain migrants outside of EU borders, marking a significant shift in migration policy. An Italian naval ship recently arrived in Albania carrying 16 men from Libya, marking the start of this agreement. The initiative, endorsed by Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, will see Italy spend €670 million over 5 years on 2 processing centres in Albania that is capable of holding up to 3,000 migrants. These facilities will only accommodate men from safe countries deemed non-vulnerable, such as Bangladesh and Egypt, while the refugees retain the right to apply for asylum. Any granted asylum status will allow them to return to Italy. The deal, promoted by Albania's Prime Minister as a goodwill gesture towards Italy, has drawn criticism from human rights groups, but has seen praise by the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen as an initiative approach to managing migration challenges. This policy reflects a broader EU concern over migration, with significant reductions in Mediterranean crossings this year compared to 2023, attributed to Italy's improved cooperation with North African countries. The Albanian centres are part of Italy's strategy to reduce the migrant flow into the country while addressing the complexities of processing asylum applications. However, this approach has sparked debates over the ethical implications and potential precedents it may set for non-EU countries being used as external migration processing hubs. Albanians themselves are divided over the agreement, highlighting the ongoing tensions between addressing migration through innovative solutions and respecting human rights norms within and outside of the EU. So what? Other countries have explored similar programs, such as the UK, to process migrants outside of their own countries due to ongoing issues with crime, overcrowding, and runaway migrants. However, it is unlikely that this will completely stem the flow of migrants, as it is not dealing with the issues causing people to leave their own countries. And next, the United States has called on India to cooperate with Canada in an investigation into serious allegations that Indian agents were involved in the 2022 assassination of Singar Nagar, a Canadian Sikh leader and separatist advocate. Washington emphasized the importance of taking these allegations seriously, given similar accusations of an attempted assassination by Indian agents on US soil in 2023. India has responded to these claims by sending an inquiry committee to the US to discuss potential connections and follow-up actions, a move National Security Council spokesman John Kirby viewed as evidence of India taking the situation seriously. Meanwhile, both countries expelled each other's diplomats, escalating tensions as Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau criticised India for making a fundamental error. Additionally, Canadian Sikh leaders, including NDP leader Jarmeet Singh, have voiced concerns accusing India of engaging in criminal elements within Canada to target Sikh activists and calling for sanctions on Indian officials linked to the RSS, a right-wing paramilitary organization. Despite the diplomatic strain, trade relations between Canada and India remain relatively unaffected as of now. Canadian Trade Minister Mary Ning assured the business community of her government's commitment to maintaining robust commercial ties, noting that the 8.4 billion US dollar trade relation has not yet suffered any immediate setbacks. Canada's exports to India largely consist of minerals, agriculture products, and industrial chemicals, while India's exports to Canada include pharmaceuticals, electronics, and precious stones. Indian officials echoed the sentiment, stating that they are not currently concerned about the impact on trade, given the bilateral trade is not extensive. With over 600 Canadian companies operating in India in sectors such as IT and finance, both sides seem intent on keeping economic connections stable amid the ongoing diplomatic dispute. So what? Though it is generally underreported in the West, India has a very robust security and intelligence apparatus that is quite experienced in conducting clandestine operations overseas due to its relations with its neighbours Pakistan and Bangladesh. If India is behind this operation, it is likely that any of the supposed help they do provide will not be there for the benefit of Canada or the US. It is more likely that if responsible, the group sent by India will be there to collect information and possibly even disrupt the investigation. Lastly, the EU is grappling with deep divisions over migration and asylum policy as leaders prepare for a summit in Brussels, with Germany pushing for a unified strategy. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and European Commissioner President Ursula von der Leyen are advocating for an EU-wide approach that includes reforms to speed up the asylum process and deportations, especially at external borders. However, member states such as Hungary, the Netherlands, and Poland oppose the current proposals, with Poland even calling for a temporary suspension of EU asylum laws. Disagreements persist over the handling of deportations and asylum seekers within the EU, and several countries are independently tightening border controls, challenging the EU's principles of free movement. Other countries, such as Italy and Hungary, are also pursuing their own policies, often in defiance of EU laws. Italy has refused to accept migrants returned from other countries under the Dublin regulation, while Finland has denied asylum applications at its border with Russia, citing security concerns. Meanwhile, von der Leyen has suggested that working with a safe third-party country to process asylum applications outside of the EU, as previously mentioned, with Italy using Albania. Despite a decrease in migrants arriving from North Africa due to improved relations with Tunisia, Libya, and other countries, migration via the Mediterranean routes and Eastern Mediterranean continues to rise. So what? It seems likely that the EU as a whole will start taking a much tougher stance on migration, if only due to the political pressure due to increased support for more far-right parties. While putting money into countering the flows, it is likely that so long as more is not being done to fix the core problem, then there will continue to be problems with migration. Though it is extremely difficult due to the history of colonialism, the EU would likely benefit from helping the reduction of corruption and improving the living conditions and opportunities within people's home countries to stem the tide. Thank you for listening to the Intel Brief, your daily intelligence briefing on global geopolitics, brought to you by HM Intelligence. If you want to support the podcast, tell your friends to help them stay informed, and leave us a 5-star review. Or if you want to learn more about intelligence, why not take one of our courses? They're all online, self-paced and affordable. Thank you for listening. I've been your host, Daniel, and I'll see you next time.